Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. I'm Lucas and welcome back to another F1 Esports Onboard video. Today we have round 3 at Silverstone, which was the last race that we had at event 1 for F1 Esports. So yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. On the screen now are the results for round 1 and then round 2 of the championship, where we managed to pick up both wins to start the season, which was, you know, too good to be true. It was a dream start to the season to pick up the opening 2 wins, and yeah, you put in all the hard work, all the effort, and you know, you can dream of this type of start, but to actually have, you know, such a phenomenal start to the season where we're leading the drivers and the constructors championship is it was too good to be true. So it was yeah, going into this third round, it was, you know, exactly the same as the first 2 races, just head down and do the best job we could on the day, because we felt like we had some good speed at Silverstone that we wanted to yeah, put to good use and try and secure some more solid points in this race. So this is our first run of Q1, heading into Brooklyn for the first time. Small correction, we'll stay keeping it tight to the apex around Luffield, short shift from 3rd to 5th, and now you want to save the distance all the way on the inside of Woodkit. On the national start finish straight now into Cops, chucking it in 8th gear, slight lift, very easy to invalidate on this corner when you're really pushing the limit. Heading now down to Margaret's, then Beckett's, you're still flat out, down to 7th now, going into Chapel, down to 6th, turning in a bit too late. We do not get the front end in perfectly through the end of that complex, but now we have just sector 3 to negotiate now. Heading into Stowe Corner, opening up the road, tiny bit of entry curb, we get to the apex pretty nicely. Car wanting to sort of understeer then oversteer a little bit, so the balance is shifting all the way through these longer corners, as it is Q1, so the balance will change as we go all the way from Q1 through to Q3. So at the moment we're fighting the car a bit, but this should be good enough to get us through. It'll probably do. Wasn't an amazing lap, but it'll do probably. Do you reckon we're safe with that? I reckon we are.
I agree with you, Lucas, at the moment.
And yes, it was enough to get us through. So we managed to save 2 fresh sets of tyres for Q1, for Q2 and for Q3. So skipping on now to what would be our first run of Q2, and we're getting the tyres ready to, yeah, just try and keep that momentum going. But however, game's crashed. My game crashed. Okay, copy. Can I have an invitation back, or how does this work?
I'm asking.
People have rejoined. I saw someone earlier this season rejoin after they disconnected, so that it has to be the same for me, surely. Okay, I am restarting F1, just please, we need an invitation back. I don't have an invitation as it stands.
Yeah, we just tagged them.
Yeah, it needs to be urgent.
Yep.
I've got an invitation. Okay, so officially I have 3 brand new tyres left.
Yep.
So I will not break the I will not use more. Oh wait, no, the tyres are fine. It's the exact same tyres, so no problem. We're good. Don't worry, we're good.
Okay.
Okay, I've got 1 run to do it then. Panic over. Yeah, everything's fine.
Yeah, make sure to relax a bit and we're fine to go.
Yeah, no stress, boss. Don't worry. So quite possibly the worst thing that could happen when you're doing F1 Esports is we had our actual full-on game crash in the middle of our warm-up lap for our first run of Q2, and yeah, this is our one and only chance to get to Q3. So we just needed to put in a good lap. There was no playing it safe. It was, you know, we needed to get this lap in. So heading through sector 1 now, you know, nice and clean, nothing too, you know, extravagant, nothing extravagant, no mistakes. Heading now down to the end of sector 1. It's a 1-5-8 split, so it's not looking too terrible to kick off the lap. Going into Luffield, a little bit wider at the centre point of the corner, but then we managed to carry decent speed on the exit. So yeah, this would, if we get into Q3, it would be 1 run Q1 and 1 run Q2. So yeah, it's not been the straightforward path that we would have liked. Downshifting to 7th, using all the road and the exit, so we are pushing on quite a bit now because we just don't know where we don't know what times are going to be good enough. We don't have any reference, so we just need to jump in and go for it and give it absolutely everything. Heading through Maggots and Beckett significantly quicker than Q1. We're now on for a pretty respectable split. Heading now into the final sector. We know we're on a lap that should be more than good enough to get us through. All we need to do is to negotiate the final couple of corners and we should be good. So heading into the chicane, moving our brake bias forward just a tad just to make the car a bit more stable. Smooth on the direction change, short shift to 5th, keep it to the line, power down, and what's it going to be? P2.
Good enough? Yeah.
Good job. Well done. Let's go. Nice one. Nice one.
Oh, these stupid game crashes, man. Oh, come on, please tell me Bio's getting through, by the way. Two more cars, come on. Sajalik.
Yes! So up to top 10 both cars, yeah?
Holy shit.
Yes! Good work,
Let's
team.
go.
How do you like that for some stress, huh? Game crash doesn't stop from that. Nah.
Nice job. There.
Oh.
Alright.
Great job, Bio. So there we have it. We managed to get into Q3 with just a singular run. And yeah, it was quite stressful, but we just had to keep ourselves composed and not get out of our own heads because we knew we had good pace. So yeah, now into our first run of Q3 now, heading into sector 1, getting to the apex nicely into 3. Now into, I believe it's the loop, through entry, just saving the distance in a bit, pretty much a nothing corner in these cars. And now we are, yeah, let's see what our sector 1 is going to be. It's a 149, so it's not a massive improvement on what we were doing in sector 2. Keeping the car tucked in nice and tight, just trying to get the power on, not quite getting a perfect launch out of that corner, but it's not looking too terrible at the moment. It's just, you know, got to get our first run on the board. Flying it into cops, you can see now in Q3 the front end is a lot more balanced, it's a lot more understeery now, which is actually, in some ways it hurts you in certain corners. Even though the grip is higher, the balance is a bit more understeery, so there were some times where we were struggling to actually overtake the car. But it's a 5-6-1 split, which is, you know, if we nail this last sector, it should be a pretty respectable banker. Nothing amazing, but we have a huge understeer into Stowe, so we didn't even get even remotely close to the apex, so we've already lost a big chunk now heading into this final chicane. Not getting to the apex perfectly. It's not been a good last sector, and we come to the line now and it's not been amazing. Mate, sector 3 was so bad. What happened? I just picked up chronic understeer mid-corner. Chronic understeer. The lap was going alright. So yeah, you can hear not happy with our banker lap. It's still enough for P3 at the moment, but we know we have plenty of time to find here in this final run of qualifying. It's just a matter of trying to extract it now. So heading into sector 1 for the final time. Heavy braking into turn 3, getting to the apex pretty nicely actually. So heading into turn 4 now. The car washing out a bit on the front, but we are actually, we gain a lot of time, but we lose it a bit on the exit, but we are marginally up now, so it's a respectable improvement in sector 1, not as much as we would have liked though. Heading into Brooklands now for the last time of qualifying, but understeering all the way in on entry into Luffield now, and the car still a bit too wide at the centre of the corner, getting a, no, I mean we're barely up in the delta. It is an improvement, but nowhere near enough as we would have liked, so we've got it all to do now in the second half of the lap, chucking it in so early into cops, using a lot of the road now, but still not gaining on the delta as we head into Maggots and Beckett's now flat out of this first section, trying to open up the left-hander. Sixth gear, using all the road on the inside, nice and clean, but we don't get a perfect run in the exit, and we've actually lost time going into there, so we're only on a 5-2 split, so we need to gain time now. This is where all the time was, but again, more understeer on the entry. We are just not picking up the front end during this lap. One more chicane to salvage something in this qualifying. We know we've got time in this last corner. We get to the apex nicely this time, get on the power now. We can just about muster up nearly a tenth of a second, but it's not amazing.
I don't know why. I had no pace, so that's the best I can. Unbelievable. I had nothing. I had no
okay.
front end. I had so much understeer all quality. I have no idea particularly. I don't know why. I don't know.
Sorry, top 5. How's the outcome again?
I'm sorry. I had no pay. I had nothing. I had no front end. Nothing.
So
This
we
is
manage
unbelievable.
P5 now for this race at Silverstone for round 3 of F1 Esports. Overall, still not a terrible qualifying, but we were really disappointed because we really wanted a lot more, and there was definitely a lot more there, but it just did not extract when the time
That would last.
when the time came. So it was extremely frustrating, this qualifying, because we felt like we had a lot in the tank, but it just did not come together on the last run. So yeah, got it all to do now in the race, and yeah, here we are then starting P5. I think all of the cars around us now are on the harder tyre, or the hard tyre, sorry. I think you might have heard Barry mention there, Jarno's the only one in the mediums, but here we go, 5 red lights appearing on your screen now, and away we go, and we get a fantastic start on the outside, and actually getting a bit too much wheel spin now as we pull up alongside Nicholas Longy off the start of this race. Now we're going side by side through turn 2, Longy's on the inside, we have a gap on the outside, so we break deep, go round the outside into turn 3, we have to watch that we don't run into the back of Sebastian Job. Nico now goes to the outside.
Sound gone!
And now we're getting onto the power now on the exit of turn 4. We have the inside line and we are up now ahead of Nicholas Longy. So a net 1 position gain at the start of this F1 Esports race. But unfortunately, as you heard there, Barry's sound disconnected on the exit of turn 3, I believe. So he had absolutely no indication of his revs and couldn't hear anything. So that resulted in him. I can't remember. I actually do not remember exactly what happened, but as you can see now, if you look at the minimap, he is at the back of the field. So extremely unfortunate for our teammate who was alongside us on the grid, and that was not great for the team championship whatsoever. So yeah, not a very lucky event for Barry, but yeah, we know how quick he is, and we know how much he'll bounce back in the future events. So yeah, coming towards the end of lap 1 now. Fortunately for us, we have been able to make some ground. We got a critical move done on Longy. Looking up at the top left of your screen now, we have Jarno Opmir actually on the medium tyre, making his way up from I think what was maybe like P8 or P9 on the grid. I can't remember specifically, but he is on the charge up as we nearly stack it into the back of Sebastian Job, which would have been the most embarrassing thing I've maybe ever done. So thankfully that didn't happen, and we have Jarno Opmir up to P6 now on that medium tyre. So it's going to be interesting to see how far up the field he's going to get, as in the slipstream train at Silverstone. It can be quite interesting as to, you know, whether if you're even able to get through. So yeah, now it's just about settling into a rhythm. We're on lap 2 now of 26 of this F1 Esports round 3 at Silverstone, and yeah, we're just settling in now. We're quite close to the back of Job. We felt like we had pretty good race pace at Silverstone, so yeah, we were quite optimistic. On to lap 3 now. Jarno Opmir did get past Nicholas Longy, which I didn't include in the edit for whatever reason, because you know I'm definitely a very professional editor slash YouTuber. But anyway, yeah, on to lap 3 now, and yeah, we're just trying to, you know, I guess at this stage we're sort of wondering whether Jarno's going to go for an attack on us as well. But yeah, we're just following the cars ahead, getting into the rhythm of this race and cutting onto lap 9. As you can see, Jarno didn't actually manage to get past us, but more opted to, you know, save up his resource and sit behind us in this opening stint. As the mediums are quite an interesting tyre at this track. It was, you know, you could certainly prioritise a particular compound at this track in terms of race pace. So yeah, we can hear feedback from Anton, our engineer, on ERS information as well.
I don't know how is that warning.
And now heading through Stowe, is Jarno Opmir going to peel into the pits? Yes, he does. So on lap 9 of this race, Jarno Opmir is the first to make his pit stop on to the only driver on the mediums in the whole field going onto the hard strategy. So he will be mighty quick at the end of the race as the hard tyres come back into play in relation to the medium runners. So it's going to be interesting to see where Jarno rejoins in the mix of all of this, because he's going from medium to hard. So the tyre warm up for him, especially around Silverstone, is going to be really, really challenging. So we will see where he manages to rejoin given he was in P5 in the train before the stop. So on lap 11 now, we are eyeing up, trying to make an undercut on the cars ahead. So we wait to see what the cars ahead do. We dive into the pits at the last possible moment, braking nice, and I mean way too early actually. In reality,
oh no, Longa gets so close to me, he gained so much on pit entry. He risked everything.
yeah. Well, I mean, in hindsight, Lucas, we braked way too early. So yeah, very very cautious on
Oh
pit
my
entry.
God.
Just not wanting to do anything stupid. It's always easy to get over eager in these situations. As we fit onto the medium tyres now, so it's going to be quite a long stint now on these medium tyres. But we know we could sort of judge from that first stint that we felt we had decent pace. So we want to make sure. Well, the idea now is to try and get ahead of at least one car in this train. Any extras would be amazing, but yeah, we had to pull the trigger early on the pit stop. And as you can see now, coming out of the pits, we are ahead of Jarno Opmeer, who he's dropped a position to Nicholas Longe, but he will have the hot medium. So let's see whether he's able to do anything about it. But this is a crucial lap for us in the race, probably the most important lap in the race for us. So we are straight on the button. Yeah, Nicholas Longe and Jarno Opmeer deciding to fight now in the background, which is not a bad thing for me. These guys can fight as much as they want, and hopefully that allows me to break away, because ideally for me, I want to try and not get overtaken by Jarno. So you can see they're side by side. This has worked perfectly for us as we head now with the ERS, the ERS on, and it's critical now for us to have a really, really fast outlap. We absolutely need to, make as much ground as we can on the likes of Sebastian Job and Thomas ahead of us, if we are even if it's possible to try and do that. We'll see where we rejoin, but we really need to try our best to overtake a car here, especially any cars that decide to react on this lap, because it will be crucial in the race. Because you will, I mean, being in track position is key. I mean, when you're in a slipstream train, it makes overtaking a lot harder, so it's going to be critical to try and make any overtakes. We opted for the undercut strategy, so we need to make it pay off. Heading round the final corner now on lap 12 to start lap 13. We've got a few cars in the pits. You've got Shanaka Clay, Luke Smith on the pit box going onto the medium compound tyre. Where's Sebastian Job going to be? There he is, and he is actually further ahead of us now, going out of the pit. So we've got it all to do. This is a critical moment for the race. He is actually still quite a bit ahead of us, but we know he's got cold tyres, so we can see, and he has a massive oversteer on the exit of turn 4. So now heading round turn 4 or turn 5, sorry. We've got the ERS open, the DRS open. We need to make this overtake, so I'll turn the ERS off, go round the outside of him on his cold mediums, and we make the move stick all the way around the outside with that tyre tip advantage. But now I need to keep on it. I cannot let Sebastian get straight back past me and then keep the position in the train, as the other two cars, Freddie and Thomas, decide to make their pit stop on this lap. So this was a really, really important moment in the race for us. We needed to execute this undercut, and it looks to me now, with a 4.5 tenth gap, that we have executed it perfectly up to this point. And I don't think it doesn't look likely that we're going to catch any of the cars ahead, but you never know. But at the moment, we are net P3 after everyone has made their pit stops, which is, that is a huge gain. That is exactly what we needed, having started P5 in this race. So solid progress so far as we are on lap 13, and you can see now Fredrik Rasmussen and Thomas Ronner into the box. They will have 2 lap fresher tyres on us, so with it looking likely that we're going to come out behind them, our focus will then be just to stay with them, because they will have a 2 lap tyre advantage is pretty big in general. So our focus as we come out now, Thomas Ronner just ahead of us and Freddie Rasmussen as well on the road, and now we're not close enough to make an overtake, especially with Thomas going to have the DRS on Freddie. So the idea now, given they had 2 lap fresher tyres, was to try and stick with them, because I cannot lose DRS to these cars. I need to stay in it and make sure that Sebastian, who has 1 lap fresher tyres than myself, stays behind. We're in a podium position at the moment, and it is still fantastic points for us in this race. I mean, it would mean 3 podiums to start the season. So yeah, our objective is very much to try and just keep ourselves in this position and hope that, we aren't really going to make our way forward on pace in this race with the tyre difference. So, we were quite happy to sit in P3 and let, the cars ahead go and fight if they decide to fight later in the race. So it was just crucial for us now just to try and find a rhythm and stick with the cars ahead, which, is always easier said than done as well, because we have Sebastian Job right on our tail as well. So it was sort of managing in this race. We needed to make sure we had enough battery for any point if Sebastian wanted to make an overtake as well, or a challenge at any point in this race to try and yeah, make an overtake. So yeah, it is sort of start. This is now everything starts to settle down a bit now. So we're net P3. We've managed to gain 2 positions, and now we need to try and stick with the cars ahead. And yeah. Skipping on now to the end of lap 24, because quite literally nothing has changed in this race. It is basically as we were. There was no attacks from behind, but we've now got 2 laps to go, and this is when, if there's ever going to be an attack with the cars ahead, it will happen now. So we just wanted to stay as close as we could, make sure we had enough battery in hand for any attacks from behind, and yeah, try and pick up any spoils or anything in front as Thomas Ronner now starts to run a bit closer to Freddie Rasmussen in the lead of this race to yeah, I guess sort of to apply the pressure. But yeah, there was no real chance for me in this race unless these to win, I mean, unless these cars fight. So I just wanted to stay there in case anything happened. So yeah, just on the button now, just trying to keep close. We've now got a 7/10 gap to Sebastian Job, so it's looking pretty good at the moment to solidify P3 in this race. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the cars ahead now, going towards the end of this race. So yeah, head through Maggots and Beckett and Chapel for the penultimate time. And it's not going to be this lap. Thomas Ronner is too far back from Freddie Rasmussen to make any form of overtake. So it's all going to come down to this last lap, and any battery that anybody's got, it's going to disappear within the next minute and a half. So this is when it all starts to unfold. And as you can see, if you look down the bottom right hand of your screen, we actually have our tyres above, I think it's probably somewhere between 60 and 70% now. So our tyres were past their best, but we were still managing a very solid pace in this race. This was a very strong race drive that we could certainly leave happy with after this race, given how we recovered from qualifying. Last lap now of this third race of F1 Esports in 2022. Heading round turn 4 for the last time. Thomas Ronner not close enough again to make an attack on Freddie Rasmussen, and it looks from this point that it just looks like Freddie's got it covered. It looks like he's going to have enough battery to cover off whatever Thomas does on any of the DRS straights, and that sort of means it's pretty much P3 for us in this race. Now we just got a guide at home. Sebastian Job's too far back to make an attack, so yeah, only one more chance for Thomas to miraculously find a place to overtake, even with Freddie seemingly having more battery to dispose at this point in the race. And through Cobbs for one final time. Cars ahead definitely had a bit more ERS. Thomas actually going a slight bit off the road there, but he's probably got track limits to play with in his hands, so that's alright. And yeah, it's still too far back for Thomas, so it's looking like Freddie Rasmussen is going to take his first win of the season, with Thomas Ronner following closely behind. And yeah, this will be P3 for us in this race, if we can just guide it home now with a few more corners to go. Jarno Watmere sneaking up into P5 right at the death of this race as well on that hard strategy for the second stint, so those tyres coming in well for him at the end, so solid recovery from him in this race. But it's going to be 3 podiums out of 3 to kick off this year's F1 Esports season. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Nice. I'm glad. Oh my god. Oh, god damn. Great work, guys. Strategy was nailed. We made a good recovery. Yeah, the 2 guys ahead were rapid, but we did really well to hold on to them with 2 lap holder tyres. Really good job. We held off Job, we got past Longy. It's a net 2 gain on the podium. Lovely stuff. Oh, I am really sweaty after that race.
Oh, it was class.
It was critical though. It was really critical. Oh man, that was tough. That was really hard, but we done it. Great job. Be free, not bad lads. Great job.
Yeah, nice.
So there you have it, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in to this video. I hope you really enjoyed this onboard. And yeah, that was 3 podiums out of 3 to kick off F1 Esports in the first event, with first and third. So yeah, it was a total dream start to the season, and we were leading both the drivers and the constructors championship, which was yeah, and it was just a huge it was just huge satisfaction from, you know, the whole team, because this event sort of confirmed that we were in the fight and that we did have some strong pace to look forward to going into the season if we kept up this level of work. And it was a huge testament to all the effort that, you know, by Wilson, myself, the team, the engineers, all the devs, everyone involved had put in up to this point. So to kick off the season like this was, you know, massively satisfying. So yeah, gave us a lot to be happy about going into the season. So hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've been enjoying this series as well. And yeah, let me know your feedback down in the comments as well. And I shall see you guys for the next video. So yeah, have a great rest of your day, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care. Love you all. Ciao.